Hi everyone, this is Mama Joy and welcome to my channel. I'm just going to do some quick things today and show you how I do it. I am going to make some pickled beets, and I have a small can, and it is 8 ounces. Now if you're using a bigger can of beets, I'm going to go ahead and use the recipe for the syrup or the juice that I'm going to put over it. I'm going to go ahead and use the original recipe for the bigger can because I can cover over it and it'll be good. So the first thing I'm going to do is take a half a cup of beet juice. And I'm going to pour into a little saucepan over here. And then I'm going to get a half a cup of sugar. Oops. That wasn't a half a cup. Okay. A half a cup of sugar and put in there. Okay. Turn the light on. And stir that sugar around. Okay, then I'm going to add a half a cup of vinegar, and I'm just going to use some white vinegar, and I'm going to pour that right in there, and I'm going to let this come to a boil. Trusty little stool and get up here and get me a jar out. The reason I'm making such a small amount is I would rather make up a small amount and let them be fresher. You can buy pickled beets at the store, but these are just fresh cut sliced beets. And I'm going to put them in this pint jar. And then when the water or the vinegar and sugar comes to a boil, I'm going to pour them over this jar of beets. And then I'm going to let them cool down, and then I will put them in the refrigerator and let them sit overnight. And that way they'll have time to marinate, and that's just a good amount for me to have because nobody else eats beets but me. And then I'm going to show you while I'm waiting on this to get hot. I had this chicken in the freezer, and my freezer door didn't shut good, and it was kind of thawing out. So it's called chicken tenders, and they're Parmesan herb encrusted. And I baked these in the oven and I just cooked the whole bag because they had started to thaw out. And I didn't want to waste them. So I baked the whole bag. And that's what these look like. I just put them in a skillet and a pan. I didn't have quite enough room in this skillet for all of them. And as usual, I messed up. But anyway, my vinegar and sugar water started to boil. And I put it in, I put the beets in here in this pint jar, and then I used the whole amount of liquid in there. I've got more than I needed, but in case I do another little jar, I can save this. But I'm gonna let these set overnight. I'll put them in the refrigerator when it cools down. And then I'll have my pickled beets. And now I wanted to show you something else, and I messed up on that too. I had a can of Great Northern beans that I wanted to do something with, to eat with. I wanted something to eat with my Italian chicken. So I've opened this can of beans, and I've rinsed them. And I've got them I've rinsed them off with water, and I'm going to put them in this mixing bowl. And I have some diced tomatoes, and I'm going to put probably a half a cup in there. I'm going to put a tiny bit of real salt in there. Tiny bit of pepper, and I'm going to put rosemary in, which will give it an Italian-y taste. Okay, I've changed my mind. And I've got out my Italian seasoning, which has thyme, oregano, marjoram, and rosemary, basil, and savory. So I'm going to put that in instead. And I'm just going to put about 1/4 of a teaspoon in there. Okay, now the other thing I'm going to add is a little bit of brown sugar, about maybe a teaspoon of brown sugar, and then I'm going to add some syrup that has, it's a blend of corn syrup, cane syrup, molasses, and honey. And my niece sent me this from Alabama. She lives in Alabama, and it's called Golden Eagle syrup. And I can't get it around here, but she sent me some. When Eric stopped through there and stopped to see her, she sent it home to me. So I'm going to put a teaspoon of that in there. My niece, Holly, she sent this to me because she knew I'd been wanting some. Okay, I'm going to stir these beans up. So I'm making Italian dry beans, white beans, Great Northern beans, with an Italian flavor. Okay, and I did drain all the juice off. And I'm going to be putting this, I've washed this little pan out that I did the beet juice in. And I'm going to use it to heat the beans up. Okay. So, I'm going to have a sandwich out of the chicken. I'm just going to make me a sandwich out of it. I'm making an awful lot of noise, I know that. You could add anything else you wanted to the beans. Garlic or onion powder would be good too. Oh, I'm going to put a little dash of Worcestershire. Just a tiny bit to give it that little flavor. I'll taste this when it gets heated up. I may not have enough Italian seasoning in it. Sometimes when I'm here and I don't have anybody coming to eat with me, I have a hard time trying to figure out something to eat. Because I think it's hard to cook for one person. I didn't cook for one person for many years until about 3 years ago when I moved over here, because I was always around someone, or I had someone in my home to come and eat, or some kids might be staying with me, visiting, or just, and I had more family that lived close to me back in the day, and I miss all that. So I try to figure out something that I can make that for just one person. I won't be able to eat all these beans because it's too many. It's just too many. So I will, and I don't know, I thought about putting that bread just on, or the meat just on a piece of bread. But I don't know if that's what I want to do or not. So these are starting to heat up. Give them a little taste. It'll seem funny eating these kind of beans with an Italian flavor. Mm. It doesn't seem funny at all. It seems really good. I'm glad I decided to do that. That's really good. If you like more Italian seasoning, you can add that. I think it's just right for me. So good. Okay. Let me turn it on low while I make my sandwich. Cut this bread in half. These are such, either the pieces are real tiny, or, but I think I'm gonna go with this one and cut. I'm gonna cut a little bit off of it because I won't be able to eat that much either. But I want it to just fit right on the bread. Now, what do I want to put on there? I think these are going to be really good. I'll sprinkle a little bit of cheese on it. This is Colby Jack. It's just what I have. I think I will put some mayonnaise on here. Just a tad. And I put it on the wrong side, but that's okay. That's okay. We'll eat it that way anyway. I'm gonna turn these beans off. You know what? I'm just gonna use me a paper plate today. Some people don't like to eat out of paper plates. I don't especially, but my plates are huge and I don't need that big a plate, but these are kind of big too. So I'm gonna put the sandwich over here. Since I've already tasted those beans, with that spoon, I'm just gonna eat with it. You can just about make a meal out of anything if you have any staples in your pantry at all. just figure out something to do with just about anything and make you a meal out of it. Have to turn this air conditioner up. It's getting cool in here. And I thought it was supposed to get up to 80 something today. Maybe 89. Okay. The beans are steaming. Anyway, I've got my water here. I've been eating sliced tomatoes with cottage cheese. I like that. I think that's a good meal to have in the summertime. And I haven't been really eating too many hot things because just more quick, cool sandwich type things. But, and I've never had this kind of chicken before either. We got it at Aldi's. I'm gonna take a bite of it. That chicken's really good. Really good. It has that Italian taste. The beans have the Italian taste. With the tomatoes and the Italian seasoning. It is really good. You should try this. When I put the chicken in the oven, I put olive oil in the bottom of the skillet. Not a lot, just so they would have something to lay in. And on the tin foil that I put the others. And that chicken's really good. It said to cook it for an hour, turn it after, or no, cook it for 30 minutes and turn it after 15. That's what I did. And then turned it back on. Took too big a bite. It's so good. Very, very good flavor. Really don't need anything else with this. That sandwich will fill me up, plus the beans and the water. Try to get my water in every day. It's hard to do. Well, I'm gonna hop off for now. Try to figure me out something else to make for another easy dinner, a lunch. I always call my lunchtime my dinner, and then my supper time, my nighttime, my supper. Because I'm kind of a Illinois hillbilly. I don't know what I am. Something backwoodsy. I know better. I know most people call their supper meal their dinner. Because I've invited people over for dinner and they came at supper. I wondered why they didn't show up at lunch. They thought that's what I meant. And they were people that weren't from where I lived. They were visitors. Okay, I'm gonna hop off for now. Thank you for watching. Please subscribe to my channel. Hit the like button and the notification bell, and I'll see you soon. Bye-bye. I always hop off and forget that I wanted to tell you something else. Another reason that I went ahead and cooked every bit of that chicken, not only because it had partially thawed, but because you can cook something like that and then you can put it back in the freezer. It's not good to put it back in the freezer without cooking it after it's thawed, since it's already frozen, had been frozen. One time, my mother had her deep freeze quit on her, and everything thawed out in her deep freeze. And we cooked, she had, meat in there from the butcher in different places and different things. And we cooked meat, even the hamburger, we cooked it and cooked it up, or else we made meatloaves or whatever, but we had to cook all of that stuff up because we couldn't refreeze it if we didn't cook it. We couldn't ever put it back in another deep freeze, which they got a different deep freeze, but we had to get all of that cooked up, and that was a job. That was a job and a half. So that's why I wanted to tell you the reason I had cooked it all up at one time, since I was cooking it, so that I could put it in the freezer. Now, if Krista wants some of it, I'll give it to them. It'd be probably just the right amount for her family. And if she doesn't want it, I'll put it back in my freezer and then just take one piece out at a time and heat it up. But that was good chicken. I don't remember the brand of it. I think you can see it on the video where I held the package up. But it is from Aldi's, and it is a Parmesan chicken. And I think you'll really like it. It had a really good flavor to it. It was nice and moist and tender. So I'm sorry that I didn't get this on before. I wanted to tell you that's why I cooked it all up, so I could get it back in the freezer if nobody wanted any of it. Okay, see you soon. Bye-bye.